Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. And as you can tell by the look at the faces that James and Chris have, this is not a positive Starcastic Remarks. Along with James and Chris, my name is Ryan. Thank you to DraftKings, Game Time, and Raycon for being our sponsors. That promo code is THPN. As always, we thank them for being our sponsors. Dallas Stars lose by a final score of 4-2 to the Anaheim Ducks. And of all the games that they could lose as their first game at American Airlines Center, they choose to do it to one of the worst teams in the NHL. Initial thoughts from tonight's game, y'all.
Well, I am positive this is Starcastic Remarks, first of all. But yeah, it was a rough game. It felt like our backup goalie was in, and the first period, that's probably the worst period we've played on home ice. I love the way they bounced back and tried to come back and win this game in the second and third period. Tons of pushback. Same from the Ducks. The Ducks played outstanding in this game. This is probably their best game of the year. I'm sure they'll say that in their post-game interviews. But yeah, it just wasn't enough, and we couldn't get just one extra save that we needed. We got that one big one before the Duchesne goal from DeSmith, so you give him credit for that, but there's three real iffy goals that were scored in this one, I feel like.
Yeah, and really not enough execution early. I mean, even in the second, we had multiple chances. We had 2 breakaways in that period and didn't score.
Yep. With our 2 best players.
Yeah.
Not our 2 best players, but you know what I mean. 2 high-scoring individuals. It wasn't like we had a Janmark out there with a breakaway.
One of our best players. Yeah, one of our best players and one of the other players who should be one of our best players, but isn't right now.
Right. Okay, so that's going to be the first thing I think we need to talk about, because Jacob and Harrison both are already talking about Jason Robertson. Jacob saying Robertson looked absolutely atrocious in the game tonight. He needs to stay off the power play, and his time on ice needs to be severely limited after that game. And then Harrison, who is always good with a quote in chat. So guys, my biggest takeaway from this game is Jason Robertson still looking bad. They need to stop trying to force Robo and Hintz as a duo. It doesn't work without Joe. I disagree on the last part, but he is absolutely right that they need to stop trying to force it as a duo right now. It's not working. And the only line right now that is going is that Duchesne line. And they come up again today with another goal. But again, guys, they can't do everything. We saw some line juggling a little bit, but then it looked like they seemed to get it going. So then DeBoer went back to the lines again, and we saw Robe and Rope together for a while during the second period. But there just needs to be an overhaul of the offensive lines for the bottom 3 lines is what I'm going to call them.
Yeah. Weird. It's kind of a cherry pick stat, and it's a weird one. But expected goals for, worst skater on these Stars is Jason Robertson. He's the lowest expected goals for on the entire team.
Yeah, and you definitely need to take a grain of salt with that stat, because that is a weird one. But it is also telling. Like, if you look at all the
He's
games
not getting
last
chances.
season, Robertson's probably not the worst one on any of the previous season games. So yeah, he was especially bad. He does need to have minutes be taken away, and he already is. If you look at time on ice, he only has 14.24 on the game. I mean, last season he's averaging like 18. So yeah, he's already been limited. Same with Rope, Stankoven, and the Dodonov line, the Duchesne line. Sorry, I was reading Dodonov. All got way more minutes. They're getting the top line minutes already. So yeah, and I agree. At this point, it's been too long for both of those guys. It's not the beginning of the season anymore. It's not shaking off for us. You can't blame the early season injury for the slow start. It's a problem. So it's time to go nuclear, break them apart, do whatever you need to do to get them scoring again is really what you need to do. It doesn't have to be long-term, but you got to do something before to get them to score.
And they really tried to let chemistry build on that line with Dodonov. I was pretty quiet about it for the most part. Dodonov stayed on that line for a long time. It had to have been like 7 games almost. And it is not working. And
it's not Dodonov. Dodonov has done really well.
He's done very well. And Robertson has not been able to click at all. I mean, even Hintz, you can see with his speed, is getting chances, and they throw like I think it was Johnston and Hintz on the 4-on-4, and he instantly gets a breakaway. And some of the end of the game, I thought Robertson was a little better. Like his passes started connecting, which is something we have not seen for weeks and weeks and weeks, which is terrible to say. It's still not good enough, but it's just Robo has not looked like himself. He normally makes very crisp passes, and he's normally a very sharp shooter, and neither of those things are coming.
He hasn't looked like Jason Robertson this year. He hasn't, and I'll do it because I'm always the one that pulls up the question. Motto is Robo's bad play connected to a surgery. I mean, it's hard not to
that happened a month and a half ago.
But you never know. We don't know about these things, Chris. We have no idea. We're not professional athletes. We can't say that it's not. It has. I'm not going to say it's everything, but at least, the very least, it has to be a factor. However,
it sounds like an easy out to me. Is why
and that's also fair too, because the expectation is there for Jason Robertson. He's making the big money now at 7 3/4, but. Honestly, I'm with Harrison on this one. If Robo continues to struggle, I could see a healthy scratch coming in the same way it used to come with Alexander Radulov. I think it's time. Hintz needs someone else to be playing with. Robo needs a game off to look up from the press box and watch. And Bork today showed that he can play. He's finally starting to show. He didn't really get on the score sheet much other than the assist, but he showed that he can elevate his game, and he's elevating his game. So I think it's time we throw Blackwell back in on the fourth line, put Bork with somebody, and let Robertson watch from the press box. I'm at that point with him. He needs something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and the difference is he's not even looking dangerous. At least Rope is getting in places where he can score, but yeah, Robo's not. And that's supposed to be his whole game, is positioning, and he finds the right places to be, and he's not even doing that. So, yeah, I would actually agree. I think maybe a bench is not a horrible idea, but yeah, we'll have to see. He's got to find some way to get out of it.
Yeah, he hasn't scored a goal in 8 games.
And that's an eternity for Jason Robertson. That's really bad.
He almost scored 50 2 years ago.
Yeah. And okay, so the other option that I was thinking about is you just take the 3 guys that are struggling and just throw them on the line and say, figure it the heck out. Throw Hintz, throw Robertson, and throw Johnson on the line together, and just put all of the problems that we're having not getting goals where we should be getting from these 3 guys, and just tell them to figure it the heck out. I mean, you have to do something. The board knows that. He's not dumb. He tried to do it in the middle of the game today. I would not be surprised to see Jason Robertson or Hintz scratched for the next game. Very unlikely it's Hintz, but it's got to be Robertson if there's another scratch.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of having Ben Bork staying given. I thought they looked good tonight, and I thought that helped Bork look even better. So I liked that pairing, and yeah, I don't mind putting all the people who are having a lot of trouble converting on the same line. I think that would work out, and I mean that's my ideal line on paper, but they're just, it's just not working.
So there's got to be some buttons pushed. This is where DeBoer makes his money. This is where he and to be fair, it's not just him. I mean, Nazardine needs to figure it out. Steve Spott, especially right now, needs to figure it out. He's the offensive guy in the room, and they've just got to push the right buttons and figure it out. If it's Blackwell coming in and Robo come out for a game or 2, great. Let's see how that goes. If it means Hintz with Ben and Bork or something even more crazy nuclear that we see, then great. Let's do it, because right now the Stars are a one-line team, and that's something that we've been trying to avoid the last 2.5 years, since like when it was Ben, Sagan, and Radulov doing all the damage for the Dallas Stars. So I don't know what the answer, but DeBoer needs to figure it out. Okay. What other directions you want to go with this game? What else do y'all want to talk about? Because there's other ways we can go.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about first bad game by DeSmith, I think.
Yeah.
At least first truly bad one. The first 2 goals are real rough. He had that big save after Steele forgot how to play hockey and gave the Ducks a breakaway. That was big. That was timely. We talk about that a lot, getting those timely saves when you need them. So that was huge. Give him props for that. But yeah, those first 2, it's a horrible way to start off the game. It set the tone for the entire period. And honestly, I think the fourth one is one where he kind of gets lost on, or he at least loses where the Ducks player is. You can see when that pass comes into the slot, he's pushing off of his post when what he should have been doing is hugging the post. So that one's a little bit tougher than the first 2, but just overall, I think it's not a great game by DeSmith. And I'll tack one little caveat on there. He's $1 million backup goalie. These happen. You have to outscore it sometimes. And we've already beaten to the ground. The Stars couldn't do it.
I'm with Jacob on this one. On the, at least on the very last goal, in my opinion, the defense didn't do him very many favors here tonight. The defense was not good, especially in the first 2 periods. It got better at the end of the second and kind of through the third, but the fourth goal, they just looked lackadaisical, for lack of a better term, tonight on the defensive front.
And you know what line was on the ice for that one? That's their top line.
Of course, yes, of course. And
you got to give some credit to the Ducks here as well, because they did keep up the pressure throughout the game too. And that's James said in our group chat, like if the Ducks pull back this third period, the Stars are going to come back. And I agreed with him. And they didn't do that. They kept pushing. I mean, obviously they bent a little bit because the Stars are the Stars that are much more talented and better team that were pushing, but it's not like they just fully gave up on the offensive side of the puck. They still went after it, and that fourth goal, that was the winning goal right there. Like on the stat sheet, it's not, but realistically it is. The Stars would have came back if it wasn't for that. So credit to the Ducks too. They played really good tonight. They really did.
I thought it was kind of funny watching I don't know why that's just popped in my head, but Cutter Gauthier at the end of the game trying to go get the empty netter, and Harley slashed at his stick.
I like that.
I liked
Harley,
that
honestly.
too. I did. I was gonna say I really liked that because that showed a little bit of it. For lack of a better term, just being pissed off about how the game went. So, it just everything for the Stars tonight was the exact opposite. We talked about the goaltending, we talked about the defense, and then we need to talk about the other goalie on the other side. I was talking with Dad about this on the couch watching the game, and I was just like, don't be, taken aback that this goalie is 6-8-2. He plays on a terrible team. He had a .929 save percentage before this game and a 2.75 goals against average on a team that regularly gives up 3.5 or more.
Yeah.
So
he has a losing record as well with a 922.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And I was just like, this is a very good goalie, if not right now, the best goalie in the NHL right now, the way he's playing. And he proved it tonight. So full credit to Lucas Dostal or however you say his name. I've heard his name said like 5 billion different ways. But anyways, what did y'all see from his game tonight?
Yeah, he was fantastic. It's like the way he played is like Otter style, but has the ability to scramble really well that like Dobby has. So right now he's feeling it, and yeah, give him props. He played fantastic tonight, and if he keeps playing this way, he'll find himself on a better team by the end of the season.
No, he ain't going anywhere.
They shouldn't, but this is the Ducks. This is the Ducks.
You got Gibson as your backup. He's getting traded. I'm sure there's going to be a team that will need a starting goalie, and Gibson is still a good starting goalie if he's got some help. So, anyways, I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dostal's played out of his mind. I knew that coming into this game, and I knew it was going to be I was hoping it was going to be a low-scoring game, honestly. And for the Stars, it was, but it didn't happen on the other side of the ice.
I felt really bad about this because I called it from the beginning. Before the game even started, I said on the Discord, I was just like, this feels like a trap game. I don't feel very good about this. And it, of course, was.
Yeah.
And
absolutely one of the next two, which is what James said. He said, we're going to lose one of the next two because the Stars don't go on win streaks. And
They're not allowed to.
he's right.
And
So
here we are.
we're winning on Wednesday. Somebody find some wood to knock on. There's no wood in here. But
I got wood here.
I,
There we go.
I think there was a good chance we were going to lose one of the next two just because Stars never go on streaks. Our longest last season was like, it might have been 4 games. It was like 4 or 5.
4.
But it was not long.
Yeah, they're really good about winning clumps of 3 and 4 games and only losing like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And that's at least consistently what they have done the last couple of years, especially with Otter as their backup. I still can't. I'll go back to DeSmith here for a second. There were some people that I saw on social media that were calling for DeSmith's head already. I'm like, dude, like one game, man. He's only played 5 games, and if he plays 1 bad game out of 5, I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like seriously, he has played very well. Now, if he continues to play like this, then yes, that'll be a problem, and maybe we go with Magnus Hellberg as the backup. But there are already people calling for Hellberg to be called up, and I'm like, dude, chill. It's 1 game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the Cowboys where they've lost every game at home or something like that. Oof. So it's fine. No, I'll shoot I'll shoot as much as possible at the Cowboys. That they're already hacking me off with that. But let's take a step back on that call up for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's $1 million backup goalie. This is what you're doing. You're getting more cap space for the opportunity to have games like this sometimes. And really, he kept them in it enough for the Stars to still be able to win this game. I mean,
he came up with a big save at the right time. He did.
He had a huge save.
And he's a backup goalie, and he gave and that we've always talked about when and this is dating myself a little bit back with Lettinen and Niemi, when we were spending all that money on goaltending. They were great goalies, but they never made the save in the game. And that save right there was the save in the game. That gave us an opportunity to come back, and then Lacombe did what Lacombe did. So I don't know. It's just frustrating to finally get that save from DeSmith in the game when he's really struggled, and then not be able to capitalize on it. So yeah. Okay. Anything more about DeSmith?
Nope.
Okay. Now the other thing we need to talk about is just the lack of capitalizing on chances here tonight, y'all. There were numerous breakaways. I mean, Hintz had one, Sagan had one, did Donoff had one? I don't know about that one.
Labushkin had a 2-on-1 that was kind of a breakaway with how much the defenseman bid on the pass.
Fair enough.
So and then the amount of posts that were hit, not even just the ones on the breakaways. There were it was just a lack of capitalizing on their chances tonight was another factor in the reason why the Stars lost tonight.
Yeah, and that ties back into who should be the ones that are paid to capitalize. That's your top line. We already talked about that a ton, but that's really what it goes back to for me. I mean, those guys have got to start scoring.
Yeah, and honestly, that's how bad teams beat the best teams. They have really good nights, and the good team has an off night.
That's what happened.
And I was thinking about this in the back of my head after the game was over, but you know how we've been beating all of these kind of meh teams, or like just below 500 teams, and losing to all the good teams? Maybe this is the reversal now. Now we're just going to lose to the bad teams and then beat all the good teams. I don't know. But let's go ahead and talk about this, because Harrison brings up a good point. We need to talk more about Labushkin. Don't know if you guys have talked about him lately, but Bush has been good. I'm happy to see Jim Nill found a player who has worked extremely well with Harley. That is true. And it's unfortunate that, we can't find someone for Miro. That's I hate to make it negative like that, but that's really that's what you're missing right now. You have a decent bottom pairing if you have Smith and Nils in there. You got a good second pairing with Bush and Harley, and then Miro up there with Lindell. He doesn't get to play on the strong side still. So it just really sucks in that aspect.
But it's funny that you say we can't find anyone, because we found 2 people now. It's Harley and Lindell. Yeah, they both play with him, and both of them look incredible when they do. It's just there's no one of that caliber that will play on the other side.
Right-handed, yeah. So I mean, how much do you think Cale Makar would cost to get him traded from Colorado? We need him, right? Yeah. Can you
To make it
imagine
more negative, Dumba played bad again tonight.
He had some spurts of goodness, but not enough to
I
win
don't
me
know.
over.
I mean, he's playing the Ducks.
He's playing the Ducks. He's playing third pair minutes, and we saw some bursts of goodness with bad mixed in. Yikes!
And it was mostly on the offensive side of the puck, which is where we don't need him. Yes, where we don't need him to be the best. We need him to be better on the defensive side. And I'll be totally honest with you guys. I am a little bit shocked that Nils didn't get back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah,
I really am.
He's coming back next
he's
game
absolutely
for somebody.
For one of the two, either one of them, both Smith and Dumba were not very good tonight.
Yeah.
And this is Smith's second game where he's been pretty bad, honestly.
Maybe there's a common denominator between those two games.
Yeah, there must be.
Oh man,
we all knew Dumba was going to be Suter.
We've already found our new Suter. It didn't even take that long.
He's worse.
We found our new Suter.
I'm gonna be honest, he's worse. At least Suter knew to sit back.
True.
Yeah, that's true. But the problem is that we need Nils in. Nils needs to be in, and Smith needs to be in, and they seem to do pretty well together. So he has to be in, right? He has to be back in.
Good news: the Stars are on the struggle bus, but we're still winning games at a good pace. So we're still in a good spot, and we're playing. I think most of us would say not up to par. Especially with our top players playing as bad as they are, and we're still in the top 3 in the division. I mean, I'll take that for how bad our top players are playing. So that's my silver lining tonight.
Yeah, weren't our top 3 scorers last year Robertson, Hintz, and Wyatt Johnston?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
And none of them are even top 5 right now.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Let's be a little bit more silver lining here. That Duchesne goal was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100% disgusting. I think that's probably the goal of the year right now in my book. At least.
Yeah.
That was
easily.
so awesome. It was so much fun to watch. I just and it was also at like the right time too. Like right after the DeSmith save, you get a goal like that from Duchesne, your best offensive weapon right now.
You got all the momentum. You put your top line out there, and they get scored on.
Dang it, Chris! I was trying to find a silver lining. Okay. Honestly, I don't know why I'm not more upset about this game than I am. I should be more upset
because I told you it was going to happen.
Yeah, James predicted.
You were expecting. He
set us up.
Yeah, well, I set myself up. I went through the entire day thinking, okay, this is going to be a great game because I'll get to talk smack to my old preacher from my church in Odessa, and he's a big Ducks fan, and yada yada yada. And then like 5 minutes before it started, I was just like, I got this dread, this sickness in the bottom of the pit of my stomach. I'm just like, oh no. Okay, I'm just yapping on here. Anything else we need to talk about, guys?
Those Ducks jerseys are fantastic. Those roads with the orange helmets. Ooh.
They look like Ducks.
They look like the Anaheim Ducks now. They don't look like the slimy tan Duckfoot D's.
Yes. Dad doesn't like them. He doesn't like the jersey.
Dad just hates orange. So.
That's basically all it was. Yes. And I was just like, but I was thinking like, if Chris can like the jersey and like orange, then you could get over it too. I haven't told him that to his face.
It's the right shade of orange. It's not brown orange. It's bright.
See, that's exactly what I said. I said it's not burnt orange. It's not like the disgusting orange, the TU orange or anything like that. So anyway, their jerseys are so much better than they used to be. I'll be honest. And
thank goodness they went to the old logo.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I'm glad they went to the old logo, and their home jerseys are fire. I love their home jerseys. Good. Talik Lizzie, be quiet. Those jerseys are meh. Agree with Papa Chambers. Fair enough, Lizzie. Okay. Anything else, guys? Before we do biggest winner, biggest loser?
Nope.
Okay. Who wants to open it up?
I'll give my biggest winner. It goes to Dostal. I apologize. I don't know how to say your name. That was crazy. I mean, That's seriously, he's having a great start. He had an amazing game. We didn't really talk about it enough, I feel like, but Stars had tons of chances and he had a ton of big saves. So
Yep.
big props to him. That was a fantastic game for him.
Yeah, I'm going to give my biggest winner to Maverick Bork. That was the best game he has played by far. He looked incredible tonight. He had 5 shots on goal. It was a miracle he didn't score. And he sets up Lindell beautifully because everyone thinks he's going to shoot. And he passes it to the defensive defenseman on the Stars team, who is currently not a defensive defenseman.
Yeah, I think it's 8 points in the past 9 games.
It's a little nuts. But
so go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
But Maverick Bork, far and away, best game of the season.
I was going to give it to Maverick Bork as well. So since you gave it to Maverick, I'll give it to Esa Lindell. He is, as we've been griping about Smith and especially Dumba, aka our new suitor, he has very quietly taken that mantle, playing with Miro for the most part on that top pairing, and he's been really good. And I don't think it's ironic or a coincidence that he plays as he always does. He's always the most solid defensive defenseman ever. But then as soon as he gets raised up to the top 2, then he's now with all of these points all of a sudden. I think he has just as many points as Miro Heiskanen does, at least he's close.
He has more.
I was about to say, I think he has more, but James, our stats guy, will find it.
I think he's tied with Harley with 8 points now.
That's pretty good. I mean, I'll take that from Esa Lindell, especially from Esa Lindell. That's legit. So he needs to get more praise for what he's doing, and he's taking a pay cut starting next year. So he's getting $500,000 less. He's making that $5 million instead of the $5.5 million. So, okay, biggest loser here for the evening. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, I'll give mine first. I'm sorry. I know I gave you some outs, Casey, but you still get the biggest loser. Those first 2 goals were rough. They shouldn't go in, either of them. I know some people are saying the first, he had a good view of it. He had a decent view of it. Clear. It wasn't super obstructed. You got to be able to find that one. So
yeah,
really rough first period by DeSmith. So he gets it. But like I said, that's going to happen for $1 million goalie. Stars need to score more.
1 out of 5. That's all it is right now. James, who you got?
I'm going to give my biggest loser to Robertson. I mean, he's been completely invisible. It's weird to even think that our most consistent scorer just isn't getting it done right now. I mean, that was the big thing for him, was that he could always find a way to get on the score sheet like once every 3 nights, find a goal every here and there. And he's got nothing this year. I mean, started off pretty well, and he's just dropped off a cliff and he's gone.
And this is the guy that scored over 100 points in, what was it, 2 seasons ago? And there was nobody even close. I think it was like Hintz had 70 and Jamie also had close to 70 points that season. So it's a complete 180 from what we saw 2 years ago. And last year he took more of a defensive role and he got better at the defensive game. So I understand his points going down a little bit, but this is ridiculous. He's not playing well defensively. He's not skating. He's not getting the points to kind of recompose himself, as for not playing well defensively. So it's just on the downward spiral with him right now. I'm going to give mine to Hintz, since you gave yours to Robertson. I would have given mine to Robertson as well, but Hintz also needs to step up, and I don't know what the deal is. Again, maybe he needs to sit in the press box for a game or 2 as well. I think Robo is more deserving of that honor for a little while, but Hintz is not that far behind him, because
that much time and space on the breakaway, you're a number 1 center in the NHL.
You got to score that. You have to score that. I mean, you make the money. This is a perfect game for you to get in and get off of that, get that monkey off your back in just the slump that you're in. And he's not able to do that tonight. So, and we really could have used a goal from either one of those guys tonight. So, Okay.
I'm gonna give one more to Dumba because he has given us no reason for him to keep playing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Literally.
He's playing third pairing minutes. He's making $4 million.
Give me Nils.
I want Nils back. He did not deserve to be taken out in the first place. And I know he's not scoring the points like you want him to, but
he's looking good.
He's looked good this year. This is the first time where at the beginning of the year, where I've been like, okay, he's been consistently very good in making the right plays. Every once in a while, he may have a hiccup, but then he makes up for it in a different way. And he's been able to do that this year. There's no reason why he should have been taken out. And I would be shocked if he's not in the next game against the San Jose Sharks. Okay, we could talk about this even further, but we're already past time. Anything else that we got for our audience here tonight, gentlemen?
Nope. Sorry, audience. That's it.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for following along with us here this evening. Thank you to DraftKings, Game Time, and Raycon for being our sponsors. That promo code is THPN. It's been a while since I've dropped this little nugget, but go and join us on Discord. The link is in the description below this video, and also in anywhere you listen to your podcast, your favorite podcast platform, whatever it may be. The link's down there. Go and click on it and join us. And we talk smack. And when a game is really bad, James likes to post little videos of cats and stuff like that.
We almost did that tonight, but I held off.
We got close.
Held off, and then it got interesting, and then I didn't have any time.
We got close, but it didn't quite get there. And then as always, anywhere you listen to your podcasts, leave us a 5-star review. Follow us on social media at StarcastStuckR. Along with James and along with Chris, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. And we hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. And we'll be back with you guys again on Wednesday against the San Jose Sharks. See you guys later.